everybody. Hi. Wanted to go ahead and just make sure that I had everybody kind of gathering in here before I started the show. Welcome. Oh, whoops, forgot to turn down the tablet. Hold on just one moment. Just make sure that shh, other Risa, be quiet. Hi. Okay, so I have my tablet here so I can say hi to all of you while you are watching me. And this is a lot of fun. I actually got this specifically so I could do stuff like this, especially so when Miss April Fresh comes on, I can watch and react and everything while she's performing. Thank you all so much. Let me just go ahead and start off the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Risqué Business. This is my very first cabaret coming to you live from my living room. As always, I take a moment to adjust because I'm never happy with what the heck is going on over here. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull you closer, baby. Yes, there we go. I like that. Okay, now we're pretending that we're in a theater and not at my house, okay? So that you can see all of the extra sides over here. Or I guess it's this one. Well, that's all right, because you know what? Around here, we're doing what we can to, I literally just said this to myself. We're doing everything that we can to entertain you all from the comfort of your living room. It is no surprise if any of you follow me on my regular Facebook page that I am very, very pro social distancing, being safe, wearing masks in public. I'm pro, obviously, we should all be pro washing our hands and washing ourselves no matter what. That's just an obvious, right? So either way, I'm very, very happy. And although I'm very sad at the same time that I'm not able to perform live, my last performance was back in February, but at least I can come out here and perform for you all while we are still social distancing and trying to take care of each other. Yes, restaurants and bars and everything are open, and I'm so happy that some people are performing and being very safe about it. But right now, myself and the Blacklist Babes are not performing live. We've actually been doing about two online shows per week. If you're watching on the YouTube live right now, or we're actually coming to you from my personal page, Risa Ashley's page, not the Facebook or the Blacklist Babes, because this is my first cabaret. So basically, since it's been a while since we've actually performed, we've performed for so many weeks in so many rows from, I would say mid-April to about 3 weeks ago, we decided to take a break. So now we're back. So if you're excited that we're back, if you're excited to kick off this Friday night with a bunch of amazing shows, drop a comment, make sure that you applaud. And of course, you see here on the bottom, you've got our Venmo and our Cash App. We understand that not everybody's in a place yet to continue to spend a lot of money right now, or you're just getting back on your feet. So tonight, whatever you donate will be split between myself and April Fresh. And please donate right below here. You've got your Venmo and your Cash App, so you can drop a little coin in there. And let's, so now that you know me, I'm Risa Risqué. Welcome to Risqué Business. Thank you so much for taking care of yourselves. Now sit back and relax, because April and I are going to take care of you tonight. All right, so if you've ever seen one of our Thirsty Thursday shows, when I decided to come up with Risqué Business, I decided to kind of take the magic of Thirsty Thursday and Blacklist Loves You and just kind of push them together, but give them a risque twist. And now you've got Risqué Business. So we always start off by making a cocktail. All right, so Levi Stretch, my wonderful partner in the back there, is going to pull up the ingredients that you need. So if you don't have them on hand, you can write this down for the next time to make your cocktail. And I also want to point out that this cocktail I named after Miss April Fresh. This is called the Summer Fresh. So this one, we're going to have 1.5 ounce of vodka, a half ounce of amaretto, 2 ounces of cranberry juice, an ounce of OJ, a splash of berry soda, and then you're going to garnish that with an orange. We'll bring that back in just a second, and Levi, pull me back in because we're going to make a drink. All right, now, as you know, Risqué Business, right? So Because I don't have the proper measuring tools as I would in a bar, I'm going to go ahead and use a shot glass for my liquor. And because it's Risqué Business, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. This is my Risqué shot glass. And some fun fact, my grandmother got me these. She went to Aruba and she said, "Hey, I thought you would really like this." Well, guess what, Grandma? I really do like this. And we're going to use it to make our drink tonight. So I'm not sponsored by anybody here, all right? So we're going to start off with our vodka. I'm going to go ahead and do 1.5 ounces. This is a little over 1 ounce. So plus we're making it, and then we're going to spend the rest of the night watching a bunch of online shows. So I'm going to make it a little bit stiffer than I normally would make it, but you guys have the correct recipe. So I'm going to do about 2 shots. Why not? 2 shots of vodka. Go less if you want less, of course. Then we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of amaretto, but I'm going to go ahead and put a whole shot in there, okay? So normally I would say maybe half of this, but just because I'm going to be sipping on it for the rest of this show, I'm going to put a whole one in. Amaretto. All right. So we got our amaretto. We got our vodka. That's looking like a pretty good drink right about there. Then we're going to top it with cranberry. I like more cranberry than orange, but if you want to do equal parts, that's okay too. Then I'm going to put in the OJ. And to top that off, just to give it a little bit of sparkle, I'm going to add some black cherry. But I want to go ahead and mix it first. You can just mix it right there in your glass, but I'm actually going to go ahead and just mix it in my shaker, just to give it a good mix here. All right. So we've got the vodka, the amaretto, the orange juice, and the cranberry all in your little shaker. And then we shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. All right. Okay. You got this beautiful color here. Nice and summer flavors. And just for a little sparkle, I'm just going to top it off with a little berry seltzer water. And then we're going to garnish with an orange. All right. And that is your summer fresh. Cheers. And let's bring that recipe up one more time. It's a little spillage. Are we bringing the recipe up, Levi Stretch? Maybe? No? That's okay. Oh, I was like, I'll just keep drinking. So you got your vodka, amaretto, cranberry, OJ, splash of berry soda, and then you're going to garnish with an orange. This is so refreshing. All right. We'll take that back away, and I'm going to move my drink over because it's time to get risque. Okay. I'm actually going to move you guys back one more time. Now, I had mentioned to some people on my Instagram that I was going to be singing something a little special tonight. And normally when I do the Blacklist Babes shows, I like to sing with a track, just because that's kind of what we're doing right now since we're all social distancing and the band can't really be together. So I am going to sing something live for you tonight. Ooh, yeah, much better. All right, so if you follow me, you know that I do like this song. When I pulled up the sheet music, which at this point I kind of memorize it, but just for tonight, because I'm a little nervous because I'm playing for you all live, I printed it up and I realized I learned this song back in May. That's when I was, like deep into the quarantine and nobody was going anywhere. So I'm really happy to bring this one to you today. I'm going to be singing July by Noah Cyrus. All right, here we go. I've been holding my breath, I've been counting to 10 over something you said. I've been holding back fears while you're going back ears all alone in my head. You know why I'm afraid of change. Guess that's why. Say now, I say. So tell me to leave. I'll pack my bags, get on the road. Find someone who loves you better than I do, darling. I know. 'Cause you remind me every day I'm not enough, but I still stay. If you want me to leave, I'll pack my bags, get on the road. So tell me to leave, I'll pack my bags, get on the road. Find someone who loves you better than I do, darling. I know. 'Cause you remind me every day I'm not enough, but I still stay. Feels like a lifetime just trying to get there while we're dying inside. Done a lot of things wrong, loving you, being one, but I can't move on. You know why I'm afraid of change. Yes, that's why. Say I say. So tell me to leave, I'll pack my bag, get on the road. Find someone who loves you better than I do, darling. I know. 'Cause you remind me every day I'm not enough, but I still stay. All right. Well, thank you all for letting me uke for you. I know some people are like loving it or hating it, but you know what? I thought since we are Blacklist Babes is a live music troupe, I'm just really excited that I'm able to just sing live for you all tonight, not to a track and to a song that when I learned it back in May, it meant a lot to me because I was just by myself and really just kind of feeling the song. So I hope you all enjoyed that. All right, now I'm going to bring on to you Risa Risqué, Risqué Business, very first guest. And we're going to be doing this show monthly. So you're going to be getting a different guest every month. I want to bring to you one of my closest friends, a wonderful performer. She is the queen that does it all. Remember that if you donate to the Venmo and the Cash App, everything goes between the two of us tonight. I want to introduce you to the fabulous Miss April Fresh. All right. Do we have April Fresh?
Yay!
Amazing. Yes. Awesome.
Technically savvy we are.
Oh, look at that. I know. We're doing it. We're getting this done. You actually do shows several times a week. So, I put down here the queen that does it all because you are a bartender, a performer. You have trivia shows. Gosh, you have dance shows, which is exercise basically. So it's like an exercise show on top of it. You pageant runner, pageant winner, photographer, foodie. What don't you do? You do it all.
Oh, and I love every bit of it. And I'm also the type that I have to have schedule and routine and regimen. So when I have this on this day and this on this day, it keeps me calm. And on some form of a schedule, and that's what I need.
Yes. And
Yeah,
you're on a big schedule tonight because you're not just doing a double feature. I misspoke. You're doing a triple
doing
feature
a
tonight.
triple. This is part
Yes.
one of three.
This is part 1 of 3, and thank you so much for taking this on because I sort of had this idea in my head. People have been bugging me. How about just a Risa Risqué cabaret? And
Right.
when I thought of the idea, you were all in. So thank you so much for being my very first guest.
Well, thank you for having me as your first guest. I am honored. And I loved that song. And I love that your ukulele is turquoise because that's my favorite color in the world.
Me too. That is my favorite color. I love turquoise and teals, anything
I
like
like
blue green.
everything from blue to green, all of
Yes.
that.
Yay! I love it.
My
Right
favorite
there. Blue
Crayola
green,
crayon was aquamarine.
aquamarine. Yes. Yes.
I don't know if they
You
even
see the
sell
little colors behind you. You got a little bit of teals. I do love purples and pinks, but that's like my absolute favorite color. So yes. Just so you know, my ukulele's name is Jennifer Teely.
perfect and funny. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So how are you? Good?
I'm doing really, really well. Did you want to perform this evening, or are we getting right into questions?
I think I can do a little number for you. Why not?
How about we get into your performance because I've got quite a few questions waiting for us in the cauldron over here.
I'll do a little ditty and then we will chat for a while. That sounds like a
Yes, I'm so excited.
sounds good. All
Well,
right.
everybody, virtually give it up for Miss April Fresh.
Woo! Okay. So, um, I think my sound should be good as long as you can hear me. But if not, just Risa, come back on and tell me to turn it up or something. Um, for those of you who don't know, I'm kind of obsessed with the 80s. So I think tonight I'm going to give you a little Taylor Dane. Why not, right? Yay! All right, here we go.
That was awesome.
Let's get rolled back over here.
Cheers, cheers. I also wanted to bring up down there as
that down. Now I'm back in business.
perfect. I also wanted to bring up to the listener or the listeners and the viewers out there that you can also find Miss April Fresh at her IG right there. You definitely want to follow that because we have fun dance parties every week on Instagram. In addition to the shows and everything else that the YouTube and everything else that she does. That's a lot of fun for me. It just kind of like helps me get out of my head a couple nights of the week, even for 30 minutes to dance around. So thank you.
Doesn't matter if you can dance. Sometimes the worse your moves are, the better.
Yeah, honestly, I was back here dancing while you were on just now.
Shall we cheers?
So, yes, let's. Oh, exactly. Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
To the first Risqué Business.
The very first.
So I also want Levi Stretch is going to pull up a banner at the bottom that I wanted to share with you all. And not quite that one. We're going to go to the Barber Fund. Sorry. I switched it around because I forgot which order I was going in. My brain goes out of my head as soon as I touch the ukulele and then I have a drink. I'm just like, what's happening?
Same.
So want to bring up here at the bottom, if you, of course, we appreciate the tips. We appreciate you supporting us right now while we're not, working full time completely, but also support your local family as well. The Barber Fund is a wonderful organization helping people that are living with cancer, which is actually, I think that was actually how we met. Was because my family was a Barber Fund recipient and you performed at a Christmas show and I just fell in love with you and then we became friends and then I performed in Barber Fund Comedy Queen shows. So, we definitely want to make sure that we shout out.
Here we are today because of the Barber Fund. So anything we can do to give back is wonderful.
Yes, exactly. And you all just did the Miss Comedy Queen pageant, the online pageant, not too long ago.
Comedy Queen. And it was a really fun time. I'm really excited to actually get back around real people though again. And I know that's going to happen someday. It's just not right now.
Right. Not right now, but at least for now, we can do what we can to help everybody and our community in need. And we just love the Barber Fund so much. So I wanted to give that a quick shout out as well, because, I'm very thankful not only for them helping my family, but bringing a community of, like-minded and loving people that, brought me to you, for example. So.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so good. So what's on the agenda tonight?
All right. So, like I said, when I decided to create Risqué Business, I wanted to kind of take, we've kind of nixed Thirsty Thursday, at least for now. There's a lot of shows out there about drinking and it's wonderful and I love it. But I thought, hey, you know what? Let's roll it up into one. And I love if you've never seen Blacklist Loves You, I usually bring on a local performer and I showcase them and they perform. And then we kind of just get into talking. But this time, since we're getting risque, I collected a bunch of questions.
Fun.
So these are questions from some past shows. Some of the Blacklist Babes actually donated some questions. And Miss Salvation Mercy from the Lady Boys of the Peekaboo Lounge also sent some in. But Levi Stretch is back there watching the live feed. So if you have a particularly risque or pressing question that you have to know, Levi will pull it up. So I'm going to pull out of the cauldron here random questions that we've gotten. But if anything really juicy comes up, nothing's off the table. We want to be surprised, right? We kind of like want you guys to surprise us. So whatever you can think, obviously the rules are, the rules, nothing racist, homophobic. We're Black Lives Matter over here. So just make sure that, what you say is of this show or you'll be booted out. So nobody wants to be booted. So let's start with these questions first. And then if anything exciting comes up, you'll see your question come up on the screen.
And are we
All right.
both answering the question, or how does this work? What's the format?
So I also thought it would be kind of fun if we kind of did this as like a drinking game as well. So I'm going to pull a question out of the cauldron. We both have an opportunity to ask it. If for any reason why that we don't want to answer it, we can pass, but we have to take 2 sips of our drink.
Perfect.
Now,
if we choose to answer the question, can we still have 2 sips of our drink?
I was thinking basically we could still have 2 sips of our drink. So let's start off the questions with at least 2 sips of our drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Okay, now these are questions from tame to risque. So we're not going to be short. It's everything from performing to bartending to sex. So here we go. Oh Lord. This is the one question I was like, I don't know. Okay. I've seen some of them. Sorry, I do have to spoil that. And this is the one I was like, I don't know the answer to this. What's one sex position that you've tried that you didn't know had a weird name?
Oh, goodness. That's going to take some thought.
Right. And that's what I thought. I was like, Marisa, better think about this for later, just in case it comes up, but it won't come up. First one I pulled.
So I can say this. I don't know the names of any particular positions. However, I can say that one time I was feeling very naughty, and it happened outside. In a private area, but still outside, and I felt like that made me very naughty.
I can't remember why or what occasion, but I bought my partner we have a bunch of tarot cards at home in different decks, and I found some sex tarot cards at our local fair villa. And I bought them, and you're supposed to like read each other's cards, and then whatever one is like your love card, that's the one you try out for the night. And they don't really have names except for like typical tarot card names, but they are the weirdest, most random positions that you could ever imagine that are like, can I even do that? And like some of them are outside, some of them are like on a roof, some of them are like sitting at your desk. And I'm like, I don't think I can bend that way. So I will say that I don't know any of the names for them, but one that looked and particularly very odd was the person on the bottom was like this with their legs closed, and the person on the top was like this, but also connected somehow. Right. And I was like, how do you make that work? This person on the bottom's got their legs closed. So yeah, that was probably one of the weirder ones, and it was called like the diamond or something random.
A lot of times there's some trial and error.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of those were just like, I'm just gonna draw something and hopefully somebody will make sense of it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, here's another one. Name your first celebrity crush and what was your first fantasy about them?
Okay, I have a visual.
Oh, a visual.
Ta-da! Billy Idol.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah, that's perfect.
There was something about him that was so rebel, hence the rebel yell, but like, and rock and roll and against society. And so I had a crush on him from very early on. And, you know, as most little girls or boys do, you know, you have your little fantasies about them. But one thing that was really cool, I think it was in 2014, I got to meet him. And I just started, you know, I'm in my 40s, closer to 50 than 40. And my heart just started beating. And when I, you know, got in the room for the little meet and greet with him, I was just like sweating and nervous, but still so excited. And I pretty much told him that he was my first crush. And he's like, oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. How about you? What about yours?
So I definitely, growing up in the mid 80s, of course, I want to say two different people. And that was, I had my first crush was on, I loved from The Princess Bride, the Dread Pirate Roberts, not the farm boy.
Right.
I wanted the Dread Pirate Roberts. And I would like
Did you like
imagine
to your
kissing
own
him.
feet?
Yeah, yeah, there you go. And I honestly like I rewatched that movie recently actually, and I was like, oh God, like the whole time I was like, he's still my favorite.
Yeah.
And never I would like pretend in my room like I was like, going on adventures, but I wasn't like Princess Buttercup, but I was like going with him on adventures and we'd be like kissing. I would say that would be like my first celebrity crush and fantasy, because I remember being young enough to be like, oh, I want to kiss him. Like I'm sure I didn't understand making out or anything at that point, but I
No,
was
you
so
knew
about it.
very much in love.
Yes, I was so in love, and I would say my second. I'll admit this on YouTube Live now. The first time I ever felt a feeling like a
Yeah, yeah.
sexy feeling, of course it was Dirty Dancing. And of course it was the baby scene where it was just him and baby, and it's like, baby, you're the one. And I was like, what are they doing with their hips? What are they, like I just wanted to do that with him.
Yes. You know what I loved about that particular film too? Salvation, I'm on that. But what was great about that film is even though Jennifer Grey was beautiful, she was kind of the girl next door. She wasn't like
Yeah,
model or anything. You know what I mean?
right.
And it was very relatable for lots of little girls and little boys.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I will definitely say that the first time I ever felt a tingle anywhere, I was like, that was that moment. I'll never forget it.
Yes, exactly. Should,
So,
should we answer Salvation's question that's here on the
yeah, I like this. What's the sexiest vegetable?
So
Are
I
we-
know you're expecting things like eggplant or banana. No. The sexiest vegetable, in my humble opinion, is my favorite tattoo, and it's an avocado.
Yes.
Because you have to be very delicate when you cut into it. You only have a very
Mhm.
small window where it's at peak ripeness, and
Mm,
it's full of really good nutrients and all good fat. So it's
yeah.
like super healthy for you as well as creamy and delicious. And it's in my opinion a very sexy, technically a fruit,
Hmm.
but most
Okay.
people think it's a vegetable.
Yeah. No, that's I love that explanation. I love that. And I love knowing a little more about your tattoo.
See, my favorite one. Um, Incidentally, only two of my tattoos have been done by female artists, and that was one of them. And I got it in Maui when I was on a trip to Hawaii many
Oh,
years.
nice.
Yeah. What about you? What is
Hmm.
your sexiest vegetable?
So I was thinking, I gotta say like a pepper. I use peppers pretty much in almost everything that I make.
I love.
And peppers are like spicy. They can like make you sweat a little bit, or they can be really sweet.
Hmm.
You can chop them up and you can put them in something, or you can stuff them and make them like the full meal. So peppers are very like versatile, and I usually when I'm like, hey babe, let me make you something special, I'll make like a stuffed pepper poblano or something. And so when I think about like, what makes me feel like in the mood to be like romantic, I would definitely have to say like a pepper, like a nice poblano pepper.
That's a good answer. I like those little, I guess they're just little bell peppers, but they come in the
Yes.
different colors and stuff. And I
Mhm.
cut them and I will do half, well, two-thirds cream cheese, one-third feta, and
Mm,
room temperature and just stuff them. And I'll make like a big tray of them and I'll eat the whole tray because they're
well, those
delicious and they are.
peppers, we actually have those like a bag of those little peppers in our fridge all the time, and I have feta and I have cream cheese. So now I know what I'm gonna be making for the next little date night.
Perfect. So good.
let's see. I'm going to pull another question out of the cauldron here. Okay, here we go. Oh, on a bad day, what's your go-to food to make yourself happy?
Mm. Oh God, this is gonna sound lame, but when I describe it, you'll understand. And I will probably have this tonight. So it's gonna be a burger, but since at the moment I am keto, um, I get a big thing of ground beef and I season it up like I like it, and I freeze it in patties. And a friend of mine, Daphne, whose show you can catch me on at 9:30 p.m., she had given me an old air fryer. So I just throw it in the air fryer and it gets crisp on the outside, but still nice in the middle. And then I just chop it up into pieces and I'll throw some broccoli or some, crispy onions or some jalapenos or ranch dressing and bacon and crumble it up. And I just eat it like I call it my little garbage plate. So it's
Nice.
just a big plate of everything that I love and I can just kind of mix it all together.
I love
So
that.
good. Yeah.
So good.
Hmm.
Let's
What
see.
about you?
Food to make me happy. I'm a big cheese girl. But I actually just recently came into like an air fryer as well.
Uh,
And I had like just really all like kind of cheap um battered codfish.
mhm.
And I put those in that air fryer and I made a little side salad and I was like, I had some malt vinegar, very simple. And I was just like this. And I ate it because I was by myself. I was, it's been a weird week. So I was like watching something to make myself feel better. And I really was like, I'm going to eat this like all the time, whenever I feel like it. And whenever I'm feeling like I need a little like treat myself, like that.
Yourself.
Cheese and ice cream, that's an easy answer. But I gotta tell you, like I was living in that moment.
I bet. Now, is it like frozen?
Yes, totally frozen. Easy. Just throw them in.
And that's the thing. It makes them taste like they weren't frozen.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly. And I was
so
like, I'm so shocked that this $5 box from Walmart is
yep,
like actually making me happy right now.
big
All
fan of
right.
fryer.
Oh, well, please send me your recipes.
I will. I
Oh,
actually have a couple. I can plug it right now. If
yeah.
you feel free to go to theaprilfresh.com because I think 5 recipes up now, and I just
Oh,
love cooking at home, and I always type them out and everything so I can remember them. And I'm like, well, why don't I just put them on my website? So
oh, I
yeah,
love that.
theaprilfresh.com. There's some keto recipes down at the bottom.
Wow. I will definitely do that because I didn't realize that you had all of that on your website too. So I will be going there for sure.
For sure, and I will be adding and updating as quarantine continues.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Let's see. I am I'm trying not to go through these questions too much, but I'm also trying to pick something a little risque.
Right. I mean,
Let's
it they
see.
know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, these are all amazing questions, but ooh. Um, so what is your sex-proof makeup routine?
My
Hmm.
oh, meaning how do you keep your makeup on?
How do you keep it on? Because I gotta say, if I were to answer this like outright, I don't think any makeup is that sex-proof if you're really going at it. And I know for sure I have um I I have had sex and then woken up the next morning and my partner will be like, I have like lipstick all over my face. It looked like you beat me up or something because it's like purple lipstick and
Right.
green eyeliner. Because I just don't even take it off at some point. I'm just like, and I find an eyelash over here. I think there's a bug on my floor. It's an eyelash from the night before. I don't think there's anything super sex proof unless you're like really making sure that you are not touching your face or doing anything.
You can only touch me from here down. Yeah. There is no I agree. I don't think there especially okay. I mean, you know me outside of all this. This is as soft and gorgeous as I look. This is indeed thick clown makeup. Um, and actually, my other half does not care for all of this, so that it's never an issue with me. Um, let me rephrase. He likes that I do it. He's not into this, if you know what I mean. Um, so it's always as soon as I'm done with my show or trivia or whatever, it all gets scrubbed off, and that's it. Now, back in my youth, that might have been a different story. However, now I'm also just as happy to take it all off as well. Now,
For sure.
now, how about what is that like for you? Because I would imagine women do not necessarily take everything off before they go to bed, or do you?
Right. I'm actually really bad about that. I should be more proactive about taking everything off. Sometimes I get lazy and I'll leave it on, especially if I know I have an event. I'm that person where it's like I'll sleep on my back like straight if I think I need my mug for the next day.
Yeah,
And then just freshen it up or whatever, especially if I have like back-to-back shows. But when it comes to like my relationship in particular, he's always very like loves me natural. But anytime this all comes on, if it's like risque business, he'll
yeah.
usually be like, "Can you keep that on a little bit longer?"
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm ready when these shows are over. I'm ready to have a drink and eat pizza, and like I might keep the face, but I'm in my pajamas,
Yeah.
and I'm not ready to be sexy anymore. I just want to let my belly out and take the bra off. So I will say that like I'm sure he probably would love it if I kept it on more, and I'm usually like, no, thank you.
Yeah. So whenever you see me online, a fun visual for you to imagine is that as soon as it's done, it all comes off and the lashes, but I leave the face on, and then I go in the living room in my pajamas and eat, and then about an hour and watch TV and with my face still on, but definitely before I go to bed, I'm in the shower and it's off because this amount of cosmetics mixed with bed sheets is a terrible combination.
Yes, I agree with that. I've gotten a lot better at taking it off before bed. It's just for your skin, and it's better just in general. But I'm also a little lazy sometimes. All
I hear
right.
you.
So here's a good one. I literally just pulled it out. This one I did not look ahead. Um, what's one thing you wouldn't mind getting stuck in your butt?
Hmm.
Well, like I guess the question I'm wondering is the person that asked this, is it something you accidentally like, oops, it's stuck. And like now I have it, it's stuck in my butt. Or is it like oh, I meant to put it up there and now it's stuck up there. I'm not
Well,
really sure. I think it's left up to our imagination.
well, I will say, and this is a lot of information. Mom, if you're watching, sorry. But I don't, I think she is. I don't really put a whole lot of things up my butt. However, I was, um, this takes me back to like 14, 15, when I was kind of discovering my sexuality and stuff. You know those things? It's like a ball on each side, and then you hold it in the middle, and you click it this way, and they go together. And then you click it back the other way. Do you have any idea what I'm
Mhm.
talking about? Kind of.
I think so. Yeah.
So I had one of those, and it was very small, and it was round. And I was just kind of playing around one day, and I'm like, I wonder. Oh, well, that's not the worst thing in the world, is it? Fortunately, it was very small, and I had that handle, so it would come out easily. So I don't think I want anything stuck up there that's going to stay up there.
Oh, I will say somebody on the live feed said ice. They wouldn't mind ice being stuck up there. And I mean, I kind of have to agree with you right now because it's hot as fuck outside.
Oh,
So ice up my butt, I wouldn't mind.
yeah.
I think that mom is watching, but like I will agree with you. I don't put many things up there. I've dabbled in I've dabbled and tried things because I'm at a point in my life where I'm very comfortable sexually with where I'm at.
Right.
But I've never thought like, oh no, what if something gets stuck up there? I will totally say that I have tried Kegel balls out before, and I don't know if I'm the only person in the world that ever thought this, but my first thought was like, what if it gets stuck up there and I can't get it out? But they do make little pulls.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only person that's thought of that. And aren't they on a
I'm
string?
sure I can't be. Yeah, they have. Well, they have like most of them have a thing, but I got a pair that also didn't. And you're supposed to like walk around in them, like
Right.
you're supposed to put them in there and like go do the dishes and stuff. And I tried. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to walk around in these things, to tighten my muscles. And then the next thing I thought of was like, what if I'm doing the dishes? And the next thing I know, it's just like up there, and I'm like, I can't get it out. It
Right.
has not happened though. Thank you.
Well, let's just say this. I had a roommate that was RN, and he used to tell me some stories. And there are lots of people that go into the emergency room because they have things inside of them that they need help getting them out.
Mm-hmm.
You can just let your imagination go with that.
Oh, I'll also tell a roommate story, and this was a past roommate a while ago, and he had a friend come over from a popular internet swiping, app. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And when the guy left, my old roommate came into the living room where we were sitting and was like, "Oh my God, you guys, that guy came over here with a butt plug and then wanted me to take it out." And I was like, my first thought was like, how did he drive? That sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
it's a lot. It's a lot of probably strategic sitting.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, if you've ever had to pee and you're on the way home and you're like, driving like a crazy person, I guess that's probably how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably one of the most funny things because I was like, are we at that point now that we talk about this stuff?
Right. Yeah. Well, apparently you were.
Apparently we were. All
Yeah.
right. So I've been shuffling around in here, and this one actually came up twice. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one. What's the weirdest thing you've seen a fellow performer do backstage? And we're not naming names, we're not naming descriptions, but what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen a fellow performer do backstage?
Well, goodness. I think it's a good question because I've seen some weird things.
Yeah, I would have to say, like, I'm in burlesque and I used to go dance and I used to work at exotic dance clubs. I've seen some weird stuff. You being in drag and working at Parliament House, it's like I can imagine what some of those go-go dancers do as well, like just to get themselves ready.
Well, let's just say this. There's a lot of tucking and taping that I have, and again, no, not mentioning any names, but when they're getting everything ready and they're taping everything up so that they can give the illusion, um, it's very interesting to see the different sizes of some of these ladies
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's very unexpected in many ways because
I bet.
you see a lot of the girls in their little teeny tiny thongs and stuff, and you're like, oh, I can't even imagine what's down there. Not that I'm trying to
Mhm.
think about it, but then when you see it in person, you're like, oh, not quite what I expected.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's situations like that with breasts and things as well, so.
There's definitely when I worked at an exotic dance club, I especially like if I was bartending or cocktail serving, it was one thing because I could wear just like a little outfit, like this even. And there were always, which was kind of like like a very, almost like a camaraderie sort of thing at some point, because there would be girls that would have to double up on panties because they had like a larger front area.
Right.
And it sort of became like almost like a running joke in a way, to be like, I can see your, bottom half there. And I remember when I started wearing smaller bottoms,
Mm-hmm.
it was always one of those things where they'd be like, you need to double up in your panties. And then it clicked to me. I was like, oh my God, I look like that. Like, you don't picture yourself until somebody tells you, oh no, actually, you got to double up down there, girl. You're a little chunky. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then I'm like, oh,
Right.
ooh,
Well,
yeah.
just talking about being backstage too, I'm as grateful as I am for platforms like this. And like during quarantine, you and I have got to work together several times, which has been so much fun. But
Yes, so much fun.
I do miss that actual camaraderie before a show when you're backstage
Yes,
with the other girls and stuff, because that's always so much fun. And just the
yeah.
banter that goes back and forth. I look forward to having that again.
I do too. I truly do too. Having that kind of freedom to be around each other as well, you start to become very comfortable in your own skin, which is, I'm really glad we sort of perfectly segued into, I pulled this question up, and I am going to start wrapping up the show because you have a show at 9:30.
Yeah.
So I want you to make sure that you get your break.
I'll
Um,
do a quick wig change. I'm good. But yes, we got a couple more in us.
We have, I think, okay, perfect. So then we can pull up a couple more, and then we can talk about your next shows.
Perfect.
And yeah, so the next one, which I really, really like, what is the sexiest thing about yourself? I love how we sort of segued into this perfectly, because like it really is kind of celebrating each other's uniqueness, especially when you're backstage and you're bare with people, because you really kind of learn to be confident and appreciate yourself. So I'm really excited to hear what you think is the sexiest thing about yourself.
I'll tell you, and I'll tell you what made me discover my sexiness was April. I, you know, my boy name is Locke, and back 20 something years ago, before drag, he was very a little more shy and a little more reserved. Same personality, but just a little on the, he would never take his shirt off in public. But then the very first time I did um, drag at the Parliament House, I had just started working there, and I was doing turnabout, and there was a girl, trans woman, that would always do this number, "Money Can't Buy It" by Annie Lennox, and she would come out in just $1 and a couple dollars, and it was
Oh, that's awesome.
fantastic. And so for turnabout, I did that same number. At the time, I had a big beer belly, and I was completely making fun of myself. And the fact that I realized, okay, you don't have to be ashamed to take your clothes off. You just have to embrace it. And
Mhm.
now I will be naked around anybody. I don't care at all. Because even though I do not have a perfect body whatsoever, I realized you don't have to. It's about confidence. So through drag, I have found my confidence. So the sexiest thing about me is my confidence.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Um, it's hard for me to say that my answer is that much different.
Hmm.
But I understand that completely. And mine it's like, when I think about it, you brought back so many memories when we were just talking. And, you know, I always wanted to do burlesque. I always wanted to do, more risque things, because I knew that was just sort of like my personality. When I was working at the dance clubs, for example, I kept that side of me very hidden. I was not, I guess I was ashamed, but I wasn't ashamed. And that's the thing, is that I wasn't ashamed, but I was afraid of being judged. So I never told anybody. Only my very close friends knew,
So
my
it,
roommate, of course. Yeah, it was just like, yes, like, so a part of me was able to learn, because that's, sort of how I created Risa Risqué, even though I wasn't Risa back then. 15 plus years ago when I was working at the clubs and go-go dancing and stuff, but it allowed me to be like, all right, while I'm on stage, this is my name. This is my confidence level. I'm this person. I control what happens. I can wear a sexy outfit and feel confident. But I still never told anybody because I didn't want people to judge me. And, I had an ex-boyfriend who was very like, I started dabbling. I would get into body painting. That was sort of my first like public foray. Because I could, people sort of respected body paint models a little more at the time. Now people are very much more open and equal to all different kinds of dancers. Thankfully, times have changed. But even doing that, I would sort of get put down a little bit. So once the ex-boyfriend left the picture, I was actually already doing burlesque at that point, and Risa sort of emerged like it was like a fire within me. It was like, all right, this guy's gone. Never even came to not one of my shows, even though he knew what I did, but he never wanted to come see it. Right. And I think when I started like dating other people and being single, I was just like, yes, Risa Risqué is who I am, and I am gonna be open about who I am and what I do, and proud of what I do. And the more I grew in the community, in the burlesque community, the more I felt, especially like being welcomed into the drag community as well. Because I was nervous. I was like, what if they don't like me? But it was like open arms. I started to really, really kind of draw that confidence. And, I've been skinny, I've been chubbier, I've been fit, I've been curvy. And no matter what I am at any point, I can still put something on and find something beautiful and strong about myself no matter what. So like the sexy part, it's absolutely comes from within. And the more you help other people shine around you, you shine within too. Like I fully believe that.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So cheesy answer, I know, but like a roundabout way to get there. It was just, I can't even look back on that time in my life and be like, man, I'm so lucky now to be able to have friends that I can share this with, a partner that fully supports me, and a family. Like I'm very, very thankful for that. Even my mom comes to my shows, comes to your shows.
Both of my parents, I still have them both, and they still come when they can, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yes, it absolutely is. When your mom starts telling you like, hey, I've got an idea for an act for you, you know that like you start feeling very, very comfortable with yourself.
Exactly. It's very true. All right, I think we got one more question.
All right, so I have here in front of me silly questions, sincere questions, and let's see, do we have another sexy question? Oh, and a sexy, oh God, a sexy question. What would you prefer?
Let's do a silly question. We should wrap it up on a funny note.
Okay, good. Because that sexy question, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I want to ask that one. All right, I'm pulling up this one, and I think that you're gonna get this. Would you rather? So this is a would you rather? Would you rather wave a magic wand over your head and have any style and color wig snatched on your head? So just wave it and it's boom, anything you want, perfect. Or would you rather have the total recall nail ability? So you can look at your nails and just be like boop, 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 and you can change the color, change the style at any time you want.
Okay, my answer would be the wig, because although I am not afraid to spend money on having other people do hair for me, and I will gladly give them all of my money to do so, I do not have that hair gene. I do not have the ability to, this was done. I took it off and I put it on. That's about as much as I do. And some people can just take a garbage wig and zhuzh it up and it looks gorgeous. I am not that person. My nails, even though lately I've been keeping them short, I can certainly paint them myself and stuff. So that's not a problem for me. And I actually enjoy the painting. Like I painted these today and I'll take them off tonight. And I enjoy that process, and that's easy to do. But that hair, the magic wand for the wig would be fantastic.
Yeah, magic wand. All right.
Yep.
Well, my first thought was nails because I just started getting them done recently because I didn't get them done for a while. And I'm not that type of person where I don't, it's not that it stresses me out, but it's a little bit like anxiety for me to like make them and then I can never get them perfect. And then I'm that person that will let them chip and chip and chip until they look terrible.
And then you have to
Um,
be done, and yeah.
Right. And so I'm not that person where I'm like, oh, I got to take them off and put it. I cannot do that. But the idea, like, I love actually putting on wigs, but I'm not really I'm okay. I'm learning, but I'm definitely not a big wig stylist.
But
I've done a couple and I'm like, I'm okay. I could be better, but I really learn from just being around my friends. So that your answer is really, really good. And it definitely makes me think, but I think I might still stick with nails because I'll eventually be all right.
apparently, there's a wand for me and a Terminator thing for you, so we're both covered.
Yes, we're good. Perfect. So yeah, we each get one.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we've had a lot of random questions here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
yeah,
Um,
so
keep
too. I've loved it.
these questions.
I thought this was so much fun. I'm so glad that you are starting something new. I really like the colors in your background back here. And I hope that this will continue and that you have amazing guests and keep it going because this has been a blast.
This is so much fun, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it too. I love asking questions. That's one of my, we've talked about it before. That's one of my favorite things about being a bartender is I love to listen to people's stories and conversate. So I really enjoyed this because I haven't had this in a while. And just answering silly questions. So you guys keep them rolling in. I would like to do this once or twice a month. So I'm probably going to take a break until August. But of course, we'll talk later about what's coming up for the Blacklist Babes. But first, we're going to be talking about what's coming up for Miss April Fresh. So, April, take it away. Tell us what you're doing for the rest of the night.
Sounds good. So at 9:30, which is in 23 minutes, I will be on a similar platform to this. I'll share it on my Facebook. And it is called Daphne and Friends. My friend Daphne Ferraro in Tampa does a show. This is her 18th week of doing it. She just started it when, quarantine first started, and it's been going every week. There we go. See?
Yay!
And I've been lucky to be in it all but 1 week all but 2 weeks, actually. And it's much like you were just saying with the question and answers. It's really cool because I can, she brings on the guest and talks with them for a little bit. Then they do a number. Then she has a little exit interview. And that's kind of what people want to see these days is, people talking and interviewing and stuff. So I'll be doing that. And then immediately following that, Daphne and Addison Taylor and myself do this show called This Show Sucks. Very good for whoever's doing your tech. And all you need to know about this show is it does indeed suck. The name is not misleading. Let's see what else. I'm actually back in the bar for my first comedy brunch this coming Sunday at Parliament House. Now things are different. We're all we're wearing those face shields and I'll be gloved and they have very minimal seating. So it's only about half of what it used to be and smaller tables and stuff. And, it's still all you can eat, but instead of it being a buffet, because who wants to go to a buffet right now? There will be servers, dishing you out their food and taking temperatures as you come in, that type of thing. So we're doing what we can and seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
But I am excited to actually perform in front of a few real live people. Then every Monday I have Manic Mondays with April Fresh starting on Facebook at 8:00. I do a round of 80s music trivia, and then I go over to Instagram and do a little drag show, which is all songs that you guys pick. And then Thursday night dance party this coming Thursday is going to be the B-52s. 30 minutes of sweating to the oldies right here.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to be up to. What about you?
All right. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is now this kind of kicks out the next 3 weeks for us. Today was Risa Risqué. Next Friday, the 24th, we're going back to Blacklist Loves You, which is my original format where normally I will feature different artists and in addition to that, some of the Blacklist crew. This time we're doing Best of Blacklist, so it's actually going to be Blacklist Loves You. It's going to be a full Blacklist cast, and we're going to be singing the best songs and our most favorite and most popular songs from the last 4 years. So, if you haven't heard, we are up for Best Burlesque Troupe in the Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando Reader Poll. So we thought we would celebrate that by just singing the best of the last 4 years and just sharing that with everybody. And that's going to be same place right here on Blacklist Babes YouTube. And it's actually going to be on the Blacklist Babes Cabaret Facebook channel as well. So this is Risa's. You'll have to go over to Blacklist for that one. And then on the 31st, we're bringing back a show that we have done before at the Falcon, which was one of our most popular live music shows. It was the Nightmare Before Christmas in July. So we celebrate both the love of, the classic gothy Christmas movie and also Christmas, but in July. So that's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be, again, the full Blacklist cast. And we're going to be bringing back some spooky, creepy, Christmassy numbers before the month ends. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for the next 3 weeks, basically. Well, the next 2 weeks after tonight, and then we'll take a break and we'll start it all over again in August. We'll do the same thing. We'll do Risa Risqué, Risqué Business. We'll do another another Blacklist Loves You and another full Blacklist show. And I'll decide what the themes will be and when that will happen next month.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty much it for me. Unless somebody's like, hey, you want to do something, I'm kind of like just chilling right now, getting everything ready because while the Blacklist Babes, I'm very, very thankful that we've been doing so much, even though we can't physically be together.
Right.
I've been getting a lot of stuff done on the side. So like getting some merch, I got masks and t-shirts and website coming soon. So yeah, I'm just kind of focusing on all the back end stuff for a little bit and then watching your shows and, just supporting everybody else in the community that's starting to do online shows now.
I think I'm working on some merch too. So we'll have to do a merch swap at some point.
Yes, I'm so excited. I remember when I first did the comedy brunch 2 years ago or something, I was like, do you have a t-shirt? Because I was going to use it in one of my acts.
Right.
And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see your merch.
T-shirts will be coming at some point amongst some other things. So I'm excited, very excited.
It does take a minute, we've had a Blacklist logo for a while, but we just kind of revamped it. And,
right.
We just, especially since we sort of started to, concentrate the cast into who we have now, the old members and the new members and solidify everybody. It's just getting there. And who knew that a quarantine would make it all happen?
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for having me. Thank you all for watching. And I love you. I can't wait to see you in person sometime soon, I hope.
I love you too. I am very, very excited for your Sunday brunch show, and I will definitely come visit you soon. And I will be watching you right after this as well. Thank you so much for being my first guest.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will leave, and then you can finish up, and I will see you all soon. Everybody, y'all have a great night.
Yes, see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, April. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm just going to pull up this schedule one more time just to remind you guys what's happening here. So meet me next Friday at 8 p.m. right here on the Blacklist Babes YouTube and the Blacklist Babes Facebook channel. We're going to celebrate the best of Blacklist with just kind of your mini cast. It's not going to be the full Blacklist Babes, but you get some of your favorite performers and singers are going to be singing their favorite songs for you all. And then, of course, on the 31st, you'll have the full cast for Nightmare Before Christmas in July. We all love Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm sure. And it's July, so you might as well. This wonderful idea came from a good friend of mine, and we had a successful first show at the Falcon, live music. And so now we're going to redo it for you guys in the quarantine comfort of your home. And of course, please, we would appreciate if you voted for us for the Best of Burlesque Troupe in the Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando Reader Poll. We know you have lots of options to choose from. There are some amazing troops out there, and we are just, bottom line, no matter what happens, we are just so proud and thankful to be among some of the most amazing people. Even the ones that are not necessarily voted this year, we have some amazing burlesque in Orlando. So thank you all so much for supporting the Orlando burlesque and the Orlando drag scene, of course. Make sure to vote for all of your local favorites and DM us for merch. I'm going to show you guys. Levi Stretch is going to bring me back, and I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm working on here. But our good friends at Infinite Dreams, I don't know if this is backwards for you guys, but you can find them on Instagram. They're a local Black-owned business, and they did these amazing masks for us. They're very comfortable. They actually go over your head, so you're able to kind of pull them down when you need to. But these Blacklist Babes Cabaret masks are for sale right now. You can direct message the Blacklist Babes or Risa Risqué regarding the pricing info. They're only $13, and how you can send that over if you would like one, because I'm actually going to be putting in an order this week, because I've had some more people state that they would like to grab another mask. So if you guys just message me, you will be able to grab these. Levi Stretch, can you pull that right back up really quick one more time so everybody can take a quick look? All right, so mark your calendars for July the 24th. That's next Friday. July the 31st. That's the last Friday of the month. Vote for us and DM us again for merch. All right, Levi, I guess bring me back in. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. All right, so again, I want to thank you all for coming and joining me on my very first show. Thank you. Follow April Fresh on her website and her Instagram. So much more. I'm personally gonna go shake this all off, grab another cocktail, and I'm gonna be watching Daphne and Friends right after this. And of course, this show sucks. So make sure to tune in and have a drink with me. Thank you all for donating and tipping your performers. And thank you all for sending in questions. I will see you next Friday for Blacklist Babes shows, and I'll see you in August for another Risqué Business. Good night.